One of the easiest ways to catch a monkey is to put a treat inside of a hole. They will stick their hands in and grab the treat, but they can't pull their hands back out of it because now it won't fit. They will actually still hold onto the treat even while a hunter catches them, rather than opening their hand and letting go of the treat. Believe it or not, God actually teaches about this. In fact, this is part of the Old Testament law. Let's read Deuteronomy chapter 15, verses 7 through 11. If anyone is poor among your fellow Israelites in any of the towns of the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted toward them. Rather, be open-handed and freely lend them whatever they need. Be careful not to harbor this wicked thought. The 7th year, the year for canceling debts, is near, so that you do not show ill will toward the needy among your fellow Israelites and give them nothing. They may then appeal to the Lord against you, and you will be found guilty of sin. Give generously to them and do so without a grudging heart. Then, because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in everything you put your hand to. There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore, I command you to be open-handed toward your fellow Israelites who are poor and needy in your land. Without getting into too many details about the law, the point is that God wants his people to care for the poor. When his people hold on too tightly to what they have, they can't help others with a generous spirit. They are slaves to the love of money and possessions. Holding on tight-fisted is like the monkey. We get trapped. We become trapped in sin, trapped in what we think we deserve, trapped in believing what we need or want is more important than what others need. When we hold tightly onto things, we can't truly help others. We can only take a part in justice when we do it open-handedly. Open-handed doesn't mean we have to give everything away. It's not wrong to own things or even have a lot of money, but God says, be careful. Let's read Proverbs chapter 22, verse 16. One who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. Wealth can be wrong if it's used to oppress the poor. For example, denying opportunities to the lower class, demanding non-living wages for workers, threatening to take what little the poor have, intimidating the poor so that they won't speak up for their rights, building unfair systems that only benefit the wealthy, or denying access to education and employment. This is oppression. Of course, there are many examples of positive things wealthy people have done for others. For example, Dolly Parton encourages literacy by giving away books, works with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and supports animal rights, HIV and AIDS charities, music in schools, children's hospitals, and more. Oprah has given to countless causes, including a leadership academy for the underprivileged girls. And perhaps you all know about Ray and Joan Kroc, the founders of McDonald's, who gave over $1 billion to the Salvation Army to build community centers. Jesus taught that giving and justice aren't only for the rich. We all are called for the same kind of generous justice. In fact, he called religious leaders out on this very thing. Let's read Matthew chapter 23, verse 23. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give 1/10 of your spices, mint, dill, and cumin, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. Jesus called the religious leaders hypocrites because they were only doing a part of what was right. They were tithing down to the very smallest amount of spice, but they weren't acting with justice and mercy and faithfulness in their hearts towards the poor. We can't just love justice. Loving an idea or a concept doesn't change the world. Only doing it does. Jesus tells us that the greatest command is to love God with everything that is in us. And the second greatest is to love our neighbors as ourselves. We are not called to love the concept of justice. We are called to love God and love others. We love them by doing justice. Practicing justice is what reflects our hearts for others. Giving money to the church is good, but if we only do that and not actually do justice, then we are only being hypocrites.